circle of life. The circle of life.
I strangle him to death.
Wait a minute, this is your once and future king.
That's not Simba. That's old Simba. Where's the new Simba?
Oh, yeah. Hey, I got new Simba. Right? Look. What? No, hold on a second.
I can be the whole Libra.
Yeah, and
I'm the future king.
See?
future bitch.
Come on. New school. Old school.
He's still a little wimp.
Oh, hey, he was a cub. Give the man a break. Well, you were once a little kid. Well, maybe we're always just a mean son of a bitch anyway.
Well, you're still small.
Guys, we're talking about The Lion King here.
Another long line of live action from old school cartoon movies. They need to stop.
Yes, let's talk about this. So this is the third remake this year for Disney. The first being Dumbo, the second being Aladdin, and
Glad
now
I didn't see either two.
And now we've got the Lion King.
Honestly, I think they're ruining Disney movies by doing this.
Really?
Because honestly, I grew up watching those old school movies, and I'm like, why did they need to redo them?
Okay.
Live action versions of them ain't gonna be any better.
Okay, see, this is. Look, I have a love-hate relationship with these live-action remakes. To be fair,
I have nothing but hate for them. So,
on one hand, I understand you want to update it for a new generation. I understand how you want to update certain things to it. I get all that. I'm not against any of it.
I don't mind live action movies, but it's just they don't look good to me, to be honest. It's hard to. I can understand cartoons. It's a cartoon, but
yeah,
when you do
I get
a live action version of them. You're supposed to make them look more realistic. I'm like, that's the point of the cartoons. It can be goofy as hell, but it's enjoyable.
Man, look, at the end of the day, what's really tough about this, in my mind, is that some of them, again, I don't mind if you redo them, if you do something very unique and interesting, or do something that's a little different than what they did before.
Make an alteration, change the story around a little bit.
Something, man.
It's pretty much, you know how this movie's going to end.
You know going in of where things are going to be or what things are going to happen. People are anticipating this one because Lion King is very beloved. I watched it when I was a little kid. I know you did as well.
I've seen a lot of those ones other than Lion King, like Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin,
Cinderella.
I don't remember if they had one for Melissa. No, I can't say.
Well, she was the villain in one of the other ones, so they just updated that. So it wasn't really actually a remake in a lot of ways. But look, in my mind here, there's good points and bad points to doing these remakes. Where do you want to start with Lion King 2019, sir?
Honestly, the story, I would, even without, you can't really spoil anything because you already know the story of how this movie's going to end.
Here's the thing about it. Yes, this movie's a little bit longer compared to the animated film. Yeah. However,
I didn't feel like they changed anything, so...
No, they really did not change much, man.
They prolonged it a little.
They prolonged it a little bit and maybe stretched it slightly, added maybe a couple songs from the stage version that they do.
Here's my biggest problem with it.
Okay.
For the live action part...
Sure. Because, first of all, it's not even live action. It's sort of photorealistic action. It's not even live action.
Basically, you got the realistic animals, walking around, doing all that stuff. Yeah. And you just, do the little dubs where they're actually, talking and stuff.
Yeah.
Which, this is... By the time we got, 2 seconds into this movie, I'm already bored.
Here's the problem. And I don't know whether you will agree with me here or not. I like the voice acting. I think the voice acting is good to me. I really did. I liked a lot of people in here. I thought Seth Rogen was good. I thought Beyonce was good. Donald Glover.
I mean, the only
James
thing
Earl
they have
Jones.
abridged from the original one is you got James Earl Jones in it, and
Yeah, but I still think he works. I think all the voice acting to me works. The problem,
I think the part that really killed it was when they do the emotional stuff. Is like you're not feeling the effect like you did in the cartoon.
I don't know. I don't
They're
feel
both
it.
like, Simba, you need to take your place among the pride. I was like, they were like blank face.
They were like,
but then again, it's hard to do it with an animal. You know, you can't really make an emotional look with them.
the problem with an animal doing a live action animal thing with them literally speaking is the problem with how do you get the emotion and how do you get the actual emotion in their face to come across.
It didn't work.
No, because you have the emotion with the voice acting. I can feel it. I can feel these voice actors really going for whether they're going for comedy or drama. I can feel it in their voice, but I can't feel it in these characters' faces.
No.
And that's the problem, man, because to me, it just doesn't come across well.
Even when you do the big scenes where like you get, I mean, if you're a kid who hasn't seen this movie, I wouldn't recommend watching this review. But like the stuff when like Simba loses his dad, and it's like you don't feel the emotional impact the original one had.
No, you don't feel it at all, man.
I
Just
mean,
the facial emotions are just not there, and it's not. It is the movie's fault in the fact that they're going for photorealistic, and because they're going for photorealistic, you can't get that kind of emotion out of a real lion or
I mean, the
anything
only
like that.
parts I could say were good in this film for me was like the scenery. Scenery is the only thing that killed it for me.
Scenery's fantastic. It looks
I mean,
goddamn
compared
gorgeous.
to the movie, the original cartoon movie,
Looks
it was
fantastic.
believable.
It looks great, man.
Even the like the little kingdom rock that Mufasa and Simba, looks realistic compared to the original.
Yeah, it looks great.
I don't know
but
if it's CGI or what, or they just find
I think it's
that
all
looks similar.
CGI pretty much, but
That was pretty much the only thing that killed it for me. The parts that I hated, like really hated, was like when you show versions of the characters in there. The ones that I hated the most was mainly Scar, because Scar did not look anything like in the cartoon series. He had like the black mane. I understand they wanted to make him look Scar, because his name's Scar. He's got scars on his face.
Yeah.
But this looked like the Scar from the senior citizen home.
This looks like he's been eating out of the garbage for like literally months on
It looked
end.
like he had like bad Chinese food for like 10 years.
He hasn't went to the watering hole and showered in quite a bit.
He looks like homeless Scar.
Yeah, it don't look good. I will say this, there is slight differences here. Like I said, Scar's relationship with the hyenas are a little bit different compared to the cartoon. They also again added some songs.
I think they changed the hyenas a little bit too, like the main like trio that they had in the original.
Yes, they did kind of change that up a bit.
Crazy, and we didn't get that one in here.
Yeah, and also I felt, I don't know, for me, again, maybe it's rose-colored glasses when I was a kid, but it felt like they were kind of rushing this film a little bit, even though it's still longer.
A lot of the songs I felt rushed.
I felt the songs felt a little rushed. Not only did the songs feel rushed,
They didn't have the same emotional impact.
It didn't have the same emotional impact. When you have, sort of Hakuna Matata, or...
That song was super rushed.
Or when you have,
Christ, you sing it better in the movie. That's not saying much.
Oh, God.
I mean, the part that really killed me other than that was like when Simba meets up with his old friend again. It was like it was supposed to be like a really, getting back to friendship, possibly lover scene. It was like, it felt rushed and forced.
Then there's a whole scene where it's like, okay, can you feel the love tonight?
It felt like they just went behind a bush and, just got busy. I'm like,
oh God.
Well, that and like a lot of other stuff is like, I don't remember this in the original cartoon series. Like when Timon, Pumbaa, and Simba go to that little area where they live in for a long time.
Yeah.
It's like you got all these other animals that appear out of nowhere, and it's like they're all just coinciding with one another.
Yeah, it's very weird, man. It's very weird indeed. I like I said, I don't mind the differences here, but there's also like with like the Can You Feel the Love Tonight thing.
Yeah.
The Can You Feel the Love Tonight was sung, if I remember, by Elton John.
Mm-hmm.
This time around in the movie, it's actually done by Beyonce and Donald Glover. Now, I'm not saying that they're not good singers, because they're great singers.
I didn't feel the impact like the
I didn't feel the impact. And I think with a lot of these songs, you just don't feel the impact.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that just didn't feel the impact. I mean, that and like when they do like when we're going back to earlier in the film, when you do the whole chase with Simba thing, you know, where Mufasa gets killed. I'm like, you didn't feel the same impact.
You didn't feel
that. They changed that a little bit when you think about it, because remember in the original, Scar was down there with him for like a little bit, then he disappeared. Yes,
you are right. You are right. They changed that up a bit too. I don't mind changes to story. I don't mind changes to story if it updates it in a clever and interesting way. These didn't do that, in my opinion. Not only did they not do it, but see what made the Aladdin remake great, and the Aladdin remake is really good, honestly, better than I ever thought it was going to be, is that you can take the animated movie and you can take the live action one, and there's clearly a separation. You know what I mean? They updated it. They changed stuff with Jasmine, the Will Smith playing the genie. It's a different version, but yet it works for the movie that they were doing here. They changed it up to make it work for the version they were doing. It's not the same movie. It's different, and I like that. Here, it's the same goddamn movie. So why am I...
There's a lot overcut and not done well enough.
Well, my question is, why am I watching a remake of an animated movie when it's the exact same movie that I can just pop in my DVD player and
watch it on Netflix or YouTube.
Or watch it on Netflix or YouTube? Why am I paying the money to go into a theater to watch it when the songs are there already?
That's why it comes to these live action movies. Unless it's like a really good video game live action movie, which I've only seen like maybe one. Yeah. That was Resident Evil, and that was a long time ago.
I mean, but as far as these Disney ones, look, man, I mean,
That, and I thought another thing that was severely underplayed was the whole Timon Pumbaa friendship with Simba thing.
Yeah.
Like they barely did anything with it.
They barely did anything with it. Again, I never got the emotion. I never got the connection with the characters. I never got any of this stuff. And that was the problem that I had, guys, quite honestly. I really did. I mean, I think the voice acting is there. I think the CGI and everything is beautiful. I think you got a lot of talent here that can sing the songs really well. I
felt like everything was just shortened in this film and underdone.
You've got that. You've also got Jon Favreau directing this movie. Which Jon Favreau's a great fucking director, man. He directed I believe the 2016 version of Jungle Book.
I don't remember seeing that one, but he probably did a good job.
From what everyone said, it was a great adaptation. I remember seeing it, and it was really good. And so I was like, okay, you're bringing him on board. He can do something really unique and interesting with this, and a different take to the material compared to what the animated was. And no, it's the same movie.
You didn't really have that much to work with when you think about it, because I mean, you're doing talking animals. I mean, like, that's going to be super hard to do.
No, but it's not. But it's not super hard to do because you have these actors who are playing it really, really well. You just can't get the emotion out of them, and at the same time, you're telling the exact same story. So how are you supposed to make it different? You honestly can't. You're stuck in a bind here of doing the same exact thing, just updating it for better CGI and more realistic, which did nothing for the story whatsoever. Yeah. So for me, it's just, God, it just didn't work.
It feels like honestly, I feel like this whole movie, one thing that also really killed me in this movie was, you know, when Simba's talking to his dead father, you know, he becomes like a spirit in the clouds. I'm like, you don't even do that. You just hear an ominous voice and like almost like a figure of a cloud of his father's face. I'm like,
yeah,
it had a better impact in the cartoon than
it's a good story, and it was a great animated movie, but this live action one just feels, you know,
fell short,
very much unneeded. Speaking of the character designs here, we did really talk about some of the designs not being so great.
The only one that looked spot on was I forget the monkey shaman.
The shaman monkey, yeah, which I thought was actually pretty well done.
I mean, he looked pretty much compared to the original.
I did.
I don't know. Simba looked a little bit different.
Simba, again, you're going for photorealism, so
Scar, he looked.
Scar didn't look so hot.
Looked like he did too much partying back in the day.
Little. Just
too much bug guts up the nose, you know.
Let's just say it.
I mean, the worst one I think for me, I didn't mind. I don't want to get them mixed up. Timon was the little muskrat thing, or whatever the heck that was. He didn't look too bad compared to the comic. I mean, better than Pumbaa, which he looked like he was like a 40-year-old bald man with, you know, a little bit of hair on his head.
Got a nice little.
I mean, I know they're going for realism for animals, but I didn't feel like compared to the original.
You know, my thing about it is, yeah, it's realism to a certain degree, but is it actually good, man? That's really the thing that comes down to me. Is it actually good? Because at the end of the day, I don't think it's great, guys. I honestly don't think it's.
Well, it's hard to make them look like like in the Beauty and Beast one. It's like some of them looked like what they did in the cartoon, but
yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, though, I will say this much, guys, that I think for a movie like this, and a lot of movies that are like remade, and this one, I mean, this is
you're looking at fantasy versus realism in this.
You're looking at fantasy versus realism, and at the end of the day, I feel like
it severely falls short, in my opinion.
It severely falls short because it's the same goddamn movie. It's like.
Well, there was a couple things in the movie that I thought they were gonna do different. Like, there was a point where Scar and Simba's mother are having a conversation. It's like he's like trying to make her his new queen, but she's like, I don't want to be your new queen. It looked like there was gonna be like a confrontation where he potentially was gonna kill her.
I thought that would have been a very interesting way to go. They could have also done a few other really shocking moments here as well. I felt like
what was her name? Niala, the one that plays
Nala.
Nala. I thought it was like, if I can't have you as queen, I'll just take one of the younger lioness. Which brings me to another point.
Sure.
How many actual male lions were there? I mean, you only see like 3. And even in the original cartoon series, I'm like, what is it? Just like one group of males, like 3 males, and the rest are all females.
You want to know what? Mufasa was getting busy. He was getting busy.
He was pimping out the other lioness and getting his wife's back.
Let me tell you something, man. It's hard being it's hard being a male lion, man. You got all these lionesses all over you. I mean, you know. I mean, can you really pick just one?
I mean,
come on.
Who said they needed a king? Maybe they just needed a queen. You know, world's changing. You gotta change with it.
This is very true, sir. This is very true indeed.
I mean, the only other thing I could say, in my opinion, that I thought was severely lacking was like the whole friendship between Timon, Pumbaa, and Simba. It's like, I felt like they barely used it.
Yeah, we did bring that up. The idea of that friendship just didn't feel very very earned. And to me, as I was saying, like you see something like the Psycho remake, which is a shot-for-shot remake. This is not a shot-for-shot remake, but it damn as well be.
It's like 98%, almost like the original.
Yeah, it might as well be, man, because this is like, because at the end of the day, that's why I think, for me, people are going to appreciate the Aladdin remake a hell of a lot more than they will ever appreciate this, because I think you look at the Aladdin remake, And I go back to that, but it really is true. The fact that you can look at both the versions, the animated and the live action, and say, wow, they're two different films in a lot of ways, and you could get something out of each of them that is different. Things like Beauty and the Beast remake, things like this remake, and a lot of the stuff that they've been doing as of late, I feel like all they're doing is just taking what was the animated film and let's just put the live action on top of it and hopefully it'll work. That's it. And for me, I'm not gonna lie, man, I just don't think it really works. I mean, we're heading towards a lot of other remakes here. We're heading towards Mulan. Yeah. We're heading towards The Little Mermaid. I mean, I could see them doing a lot of other remakes down the road. I mean, you talked about one before we started the review of like the Brave Little Toaster. Would you love to see?
That's a very old cartoon movie. That was like in late 80s, early 90s. So I'm like,
Brave Little Toaster. Anybody? Should it be remade?
If you remember that one, you're officially old. I mean, that and like Land Before Time.
I'm surprised that's not gonna. That's gonna get one too, guys. There's a lot of ones that are gonna get it. If they can pull off
Jurassic Park, they can pull that off.
I think there's gonna be a lot of them that are coming down the pike. Be honest with you guys. I mean, for me personally, I'm not gonna lie. I just don't really see this trend, as far as I'm concerned.
They're basically just recycling old movies.
And that's the problem. And I feel like instead of updating these ones for a new generation, why doesn't the old generation just hand them the DVD of Lion King or whatever and say, here, this is it, this is what it is, and hopefully you will like it just as I did when I was a kid.
I mean, what's next? They're going to do a live action Care Bears movie?
God, that would be weird. Jesus, man. God, could you see that?
That would be weird as hell. They probably have one called Drunk Bear because he's always drinking because he's so depressed about this movie.
Oh my goodness gracious!
I mean, they've done Sesame Street movies. Might as well do Care Bears. Let's bring back Fraggle Rock if you remember that one.
They're remaking everything, guys. So what the hell, right?
Hell, do that one with the that American Mouse movie. I forget what it was called.
I think it was American Tail.
Yeah, American Tail. Yeah. Do live action of that. I mean, no, we're getting a movie like goddamn Cats. I'm like, seriously? When me, my buddy here, and his girlfriend were in here watching this movie, we saw the trailer for that. We're like, are you kidding me?
There's some things that should not be made into movies, and some things
certain actors who, like, I guess they just need the paycheck. I'm not gonna say who to disrespect them, but I'm like, seriously?
Some things need to be left alone.
Get bored? I mean,
kind of like The Lion King. Sir, what is your final thoughts and grade rating on The Lion King 2019?
I pretty much gave you all my thoughts on this movie. Honestly, I don't even know why they bothered with this movie.
I don't know.
There's some stuff you just need to leave alone, and this is one of them.
Yeah, it really is.
You're kind of ruining my childhood by making a live action version.
Yeah, this was really just I left the theater.
I was pretty much like this throughout the entire movie. I mean, I had maybe one good chuckle, and that was it.
That was it, honestly.
Hell, I could have stayed home and rewatched this on Netflix or YouTube.
Gotten a lot better of a response, that's for sure.
Saved myself some money.
Yes, indeed.
But honestly, like I said, this movie shouldn't have been remade, but they did it anyway. And I knew it was going to be a problem once I heard it was going to be a live action. I'm like...
It's just you know, something about that, man. It just doesn't translate.
I don't even know what I could give this for a grade without making a failure. I mean,
it's not a terrible movie because the story is still really great, and
well, I didn't really feel the emotion compared to the original. That's what really killed it.
And that's what killed it.
You know, when they do, like, oh, we're having a really sad scene, you can't really see it because, you know, it's an animal's face.
Yeah, so it's not, it doesn't really go there the way you want it to.
If it was a human doing a live action, I probably would have felt a little bit more out of it, but...
But no, man. Unfortunately not. So
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's just like you already know what was pretty much coming throughout this film. There was like maybe one or two minor changes that they did in it, but even then it didn't feel like it wasn't really popping for me.
yeah.
So I'd have to probably give this movie, if it wasn't for that couple chuckles or something that was sort of interesting, I have to give this movie an F, but I'd have to say at the lowest, I'd probably be at D-.
Wow, man, jeez, really?
I'm sorry to say, but I love the original cartoon better.
Damn, woo!
The original cartoon one swims circles around this. I mean...
This is true, and you know what, look, I wasn't the biggest fan of the Dumbo remake, but when I saw the Aladdin remake and I said, okay, they're really going for something interesting and different, I thought, okay, I have hope for The Lion King that they're not going to do the same thing twice. On top of that, you have Jon Favreau directing this, and there's a really great director in there who can take a material and spin it into something really unique and interesting. And we just don't get it. It's the same story. I love the story. I love the characters. I love the songs. But all of that stuff is in the original, and I can just watch the original and get better emotion and better characterization and get more fun and enjoyment out of it. Mm-hmm. This is not that movie, and it's just the same thing twice, just more photorealistic. But do you really need it? And in my honest opinion, you don't really need it. So for me, this is a waste of time, to be honest with you. It really honestly is, and it's a shame because I love Disney. This really is a waste. So I am gonna give it slightly more than you, because I do really still think it's worth it in some ways, because again, it's a great story and characters. But I am gonna give it probably a high D+.
We're both in the D range.
We're in the D range, but it's...
Nothing to redeem it to get a higher grade.
No, and again, just watch the original, and I think you'll be way more satisfied, guys. Quite honestly.
You're a little too into it.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? I was thinking about this, guys. He reminds me a lot of Pumbaa.
Yeah, the fighter, the one with an actual brain. Not like Timon, who likes to steal ideas from his friend.
No, he doesn't steal ideas. He's actually, out of the two...
Welcome to our home. Slimy, yet satisfying. I promise, I'll walk him every day. If he makes a little mess, I'll clean it up.
Yeah, like I do with him.
I am clearly the...
Slimy, yet satisfying.
Not like this one.
I'm clearly the brains of the operation, guys. Clearly, as you guys have seen here.
Who does all the action in the film compared to the two? This one.
But again, you wouldn't... Again, bronze, but brains. Brains wins every time.
No, he just likes to steal ideas because that's the only way he can contribute.
Welcome to our humble home. Hakuna Matata. Repeat after me, kid. Hakuna Matata. Can we please keep him? Okay. I promise, I'll walk him every day. If he makes a little mess, I'll clean it up.
That's him.
Oh, God. He's going to continue to do this. He's having too much fun.
Hakuna Matata.
Oh boy. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up. Let us know what you think of The Lion King. How did it compare to the 1994 film? What did you think of the music, the acting, everything like that?
It's satisfying.
Trust me, if he was the real, his ass would have been killed and turned into bacon by now. He would just be roadkill. Just like this one. Still prefer the original.
It'll never beat the original. The originals nothing ever beats the originals, for sure.
I didn't see the resemblance. At least mine's looking like a badass.
Yeah, you look like one.
I'd kick your ass.
Guys, we'll see you next time. Yeah, I really can't see the resemblance.